G'day, welcome to another video. I've got this new setup. Looks way better than what I was doing before in the car, so it's a bit nicer for viewing. I was a bit of a sun for your eyes. Just went to the big green shed, picked up some cornice, picked up a couple of other little things. Get to site today, lay those decking boards, help out the plasterer, put up cornice, and hopefully get some balustrade going. See you there. So I just got a measurement from brick to brick, and I'm taking off 6mm because Ekodeck expands and you want to have 3mm gaps on your ends. So I went end to end, 46, 60. I'll take 6mm off. Ekodeck has all hidden fixings. I did screw the front off because you can put brackets underneath, but I would do, if I was going to do that, I would be wanting to put a sheet on here or something like that, and this is going to stay exposed, so you can screw on the top, but it does look nicer with the hidden fixings. And the way that they work is the board goes on either side of that packer, and then the board is able to expand and contract this way, and then at the same time it still fixes it down. That screw hasn't been screwed off yet, but there's that one there. How I like to install them as I go, I'll just keep one side, I'll make sure I'll have a 3mm packer on, so that it keeps at that gap, and then I'll tack the fixing packer down, just like to see how those are just sticking out at the moment, all the way along, and then I'll just do one end, clamp it, if you can, and then drive that one home, that's in the middle, and then go down the other end, and then you can see at the moment there's a bit more of a gap there. Clamp that one in, bang, and then come into the middle, same thing, and then put all these tacked and then drive home these middle ones. Once I ran out of room for that other clamp to hook on, I'll just flip this one around, work the treat. That's all the decking boards down that I've got. So I only allowed enough for the actual distance, and then what happened was, because I worked out that I needed to rip that one down, I lost a board at this end. And I also have that one that's scratched down there, but the scratch one I'll actually be able to use. I've worked out that I only need 45mm and the scratch is at 50, so that worked out alright. Just another thing I wanted to talk about with the Ekodeck, it's like how that board down there got a bit scratched. It's probably the only negative side of it. So this is just an offcut here, and then if I just use a Stanley knife on it, just a light scratch. So that's with a Stanley knife scratch. Now you can't sand that back and fix that up. So, and even with my fingernail, if I really get in there, it leaves a bit of, it's noticeable. Now I think you could lightly sand that, but it's not recommended. So I'd say if you ever are going to put it down and you're going to have furniture, I'd say put those little felt things under your legs and tables and stuff, so they don't get pushed around and scratch up your deck. So I ended up with that cut board because I was governed by the bearer on the edge of that brick there to the wall. So normally if I was building a brand new deck, I'd work it out to make it work the boards, so I wouldn't have that situation here. So for the balustrade, I'm installing this peak balustrade, which is aluminium. It's just got to get cut up and installed in place, but unfortunately I open up this post and you see there's a bit of scratch on that, so I'll have to, they are from Bunnings, so I'll take it back and get that exchanged, and while I'm there I'll pick up that extra board that I need for that and I'll get back into it. Just one of those days. Plasterer was meant to be here today, but he was coming from interstate and he had a flight early this morning and unfortunately got delayed, so he's not going to make it today. When I also found out that I had that scratch on that post, so you get another post from Bunnings, then I found out that they didn't have the right Ekodeck boards there, so I could pick one up just then. Then I was going to put some for balustrade, because the balustrade is going to be screwed at that point, and then I'm going to put a block in here, and then I have ordered it, but it's still 2 days away. I had to put a double joist here because I needed 450 centers, and due to where I had some limitations in there, so I had to double up this joist. It just so happens that my post is here, so I want to get this bracket on before I put that block in. So yeah, it's just one of those days that you have sometimes, but they're actually good just to have them because you get to learn a lot along the way, and some of these mistakes are mine, so it's great to bloody cop it on the chin kind of thing, and then you just grow from it, and then the next time you'll think about it, like just how I've learnt a couple other times how I went through my first board there. I really took the time to make sure I worked all that out, because otherwise if I didn't think about it and do it properly, I could have ended up with a terrible rip here, or when I put my posts in, it would have busted out one of those decking boards. So yeah, I'm sure the world would be pretty boring if everything was perfect. But what I will do now is I'll just drop back and I'll gonna sand the edge of that. I've got these painted, these blocks here painted for when they're ready to go. This afternoon I'm also going to a Master Builders Roadshow, so I'm a member there with Master Builders, and I haven't been to one before, but apparently they're pretty good, so I'm pretty keen to be a bit of a sponge and listen to what they've all got to say. Especially at the moment, there's a lot of new changes in the NCC, so interested to listen about all that and soak it all up. So yeah, I'm just sanding this cut edge where I cut it. You can see that's the saw blade marks there. And this is where I've sanded it. It just looks a bit nicer.